Hey there, I'm Lance and I'm a gamer.
And I'm Sam and I'm a non-gamer.
And we are Love to Hate, where we try to help gamers find great games to play with non-gamers.
And today we're taking a look at Super Snipers by Galen Games.
Super Snipers is running on Kickstarter right now, so make sure to check out the Kickstarter campaign link down below in the description of this video after you watch it. And what Super Snipers is all about, it is a real-time polyomino race game in which you are trying to battle it out between you and one other player or against the game. This is a 1 or 2 player game, and you're both snipers going head to head, trying to detect where the other player is hiding and putting your crosshairs on them first before they can do that back to you. Let me show you how it works down below, and then we'll come back and share our thoughts on it as a gamer and non-gamer. All right, so here's Super Snipers on the table. Let me show you guys this fast, puzzly sniper duel game. Now, I do want you to understand everything you see in this portion of the video is going to be prototype. The final artwork, components, and rules even may change once it's released from crowdfunding. That being said, let's go ahead and show you what you do in this game. Now, you're going to have several different components, and I'm going to show them to you progressively through the different phases because there are 3 phases to this game. The first phase is simply assigning these 3 cards here, and each player will have their own set of cards. These are the cards for Jane 8, and she is one of the characters, and there are going to be lots of other characters that you can play as in the game. And on these cards, 2 of them are going to say miss, and the 3rd is going to be where your opponent is hiding, because each one of these cards is assigned to a different location. And you can see here the location name. This is the Carnival, and this particular card could be where my opponent is hiding, or it may be here, or it may be there. Anyhow, what is going to happen on a turn, you are going to have a bag of polyominoes, and these polyominoes, I know you can't really see it in there, but they are there. These polyominoes are going to come in all different shapes and sizes, but they're also going to come in 3 different colors. And these colors do represent things that are important to being a sniper, such as time and patience and holding your breath, that sort of thing. Anyhow, you are going to draw tiles out of this bag, and you will have 3 on the side of your playing board, and those 3 are going to represent the pieces that you will be able to work with. And you'll use the one that is on the left end of the 3. You'll set them in a line like this, and this is the piece that you are going to be using for this particular turn. And these will push forward to the left. You'll draw a new piece at the end of every round, and that will be the next 3 that you have for you. So your first piece you will use, and you'll do this simultaneously against the other player. You will place it on one of your 3 locations. The first piece that you place does have to touch the outside border, and it cannot overlap the edge. It has to be fully on the board, like so. And what you are trying to do with these different locations, you are trying to close off this crosshair space from the outside border. So I want polyomino pieces to completely surround it and block off any access to the outside border. So I still need to cover up these sides right here. And so I might do something like that. And then I would hopefully, well, actually I could do it like that. And that would completely close off this crosshair. And when I've done that, I'm able to flip over this card and see if my opponent is there. Unfortunately, the opponent is not there, and I would have to work on one of the other 2 spots. Now, there are a few more rules about placing these polyominoes. Again, their first piece of a color has to touch the outside edge. Every piece of that color from that point forward can touch the other pieces that you have on the board. So I could do something like this, or if this piece were like that, for instance, I could place this piece there. You get the idea. My next piece of a different color still has to touch the outside edge. It cannot just go off of this one particular tile because they don't share the same color. Now, I will want to try to cover up these spaces as well, and I'll want to try to cover them up with the like color. So this particular one, this is surveillance. That's what this icon means, these 2 right here. And for this particular one, I want to cover it with a purple or gray piece, and this one purple or yellow. And if I'm able to do that, then I will get to draw another tile out of my bag, and that tile will be a free tile for me to use in the next phase of the game. And while we're at that, whenever you do find the location where your opponent is at, then you do get to advance to the next phase of the game. All right, so this is the next phase of the game, the target phase, and I have here the actual player board that you will be using throughout the course of the game. I didn't show you that in the first phase. This is a real nice dual recessed player board here with tokens that fit in these slots, and this is actually a board that you, or a card that you insert into this, and the card that you insert into this is going to be the location where you found your opponent at. So this one is the factory, for instance. And I would just slide this in here. And I'm going to put meeples on these particular spots here. These are innocent civilians. And I don't want them to get caught up in this snipering event here. I want to protect them. And so what's going to happen here, I need to surround the innocents, but then I also need to surround the target. And this is kind of the same idea as the previous phase when you surround them and blocking them off from the outside border. Now, how this is going to work, you're going to have your surveillance tokens that you earned from the previous phase, and you're going to start off by placing these out here before the round begins. So I have to start on the outside edge, and color pieces have to touch color pieces, so I'm going to put this one over here. And anytime you cover up other icons, you are going to earn those bonuses. So for instance, I've earned the move bonus. And this is something that I can use at some point in the round. I would flip this over to show that I've used it, and I can move a piece that was already out on my board, for instance. And then over here, this is my line of sight. So this is what I was talking about in the previous round. You've got your 3 pieces here, and this is the piece that I'm going to be using for this round. I would slide these pieces over. And there are actually 2 ways to play this game. You can play this in not real time, but simultaneously, where everybody has a ready go piece. And on the count of 3, you would flip your piece over from ready to go. And then we would place our pieces out here wherever we felt like we needed to. And then we would draw a new piece from our bag, adding it to the end of the line of sight. And we would flip this piece back over to show that we are ready for the next round. Or you can use a sand timer, and you're going to flip this over, and then you're going to place out a piece here. And when the sand timer runs out, you are able to start the next round. And so this adds definitely a lot more tension to the game. This is a 15-second sand timer, and now it has gone. So I'm going to flip it over, and I'm going to play the next piece. And you can see how this is really going to ramp up the energy and excitement with the game. And again, you're just trying to surround these 2 meeples here, and you're trying to surround the target. Now, this particular board has 2 meeples. However, location 3 is going to have 3 meeples, whereas location 1 is only going to have 1 meeple. So not all locations are created equal. Now, when you do surround these meeples, you are able to take out the target. You need to surround the target as well, but you are going to use your special bullet piece, and you're going to have to use that bullet piece to be able to take out the target. So you need to make sure that you have put your pieces in such a way that allows you to do that, as you normally cannot overlap pieces. However, there are going to be certain player abilities that allow you to break the rules, so you'll want to pay attention to those as well. Now, whenever you do damage the target, you're going to give your opponent one of your bullets, and that's 1 strike against them. And if you hurt them 3 times throughout the course of the game, you are going to win the game. Now, that opponent will earn their adrenaline bonus, and their adrenaline bonus is going to give them an extra polyomino that they can use at some point on their turn. It'll also give them an extra benefit that they will be able to use throughout the course of the game. And when you do hit your target, you are going to miss out on one of your miss locations. You'll lose that, and it opens up some possibilities for your opponent to catch back up in the game. Otherwise, that's the gist of what you have here in Super Snipers. Let's go back up top and share thoughts on this one. And we're back, and now we're going to share our brief thoughts on Super Sniper from a gamer and non-gamer's perspective. So Sam, this is a high-quality prototype that we were given here. Really cool idea behind it. What were your first impressions with it?
We like polyominoes, so I was excited for that. That's kind of our probably top mechanic, or at least one of mine. But there is a lot going on. There's a lot of stuff that's just yours. Yeah. And a lot of, once you start explaining it, figure out you have to put it here, and then you put it on there. Sometimes you put it over here. Sometimes it's used. The polyominoes are used in various positions.
Yeah, there's actually 3 phases to this game, and if you watch that rules portion of the video, you'll understand this, that really this is a game in which you're using these polyominoes to narrow in on a particular bullseye, and you're wanting to do that on 3 different targets. But you're really trying to be judicious about zoning in on one as quickly as you can and seeing if that's where your opponent is hiding. Hopefully it is. So it's a bit of a shell game of trying to find where's your opponent at. What did you think about that concept?
I mean, I think there were some pros and cons to it. I think one problem was if the person picked number 3, your second phase was a lot more complicated than if they would have chose number 1. And playing it the first time, we didn't pay attention to that. But I think playing it now, I wouldn't say
adds to the strategy.
It does. Yeah, you're more likely. I think anybody would be more likely to choose 2 and 3 over 1 because it is a little bit of a longer process.
I think because the way this game is designed is that you can only choose each location one time. I mean, if you're winning anyhow,
True.
Because you do have to take out a location or a miss card each time you do this, and you have to take out the location that you tried the previous round. And so you do have to be wise about when you decide, well, I'm going to hide at 3 because now you have to isolate 3 meeples. That makes it a little harder for your opponent, but that's a one-time use. You got to make sure you do it wisely.
I do feel like there's some safeguards to it. Like if I'm losing. But
there's some good catch-up mechanics built into this game to kind of help out the player who's not doing as well. So let's talk about just the experience and the fun factor with this particular game. You mentioned you really like polyomino games. I really like polyomino games. What did you think about how this game played out? Was it fun for you?
I thought it was fun. I think I liked how you were doing the polyominoes. The rules were pretty simple. The specifications of where they had to go weren't too crazy. I didn't like how you did it, and then you took them all off. I want to build something, and I want it to stay that way. And so you're constantly building something, and so it's not as satisfying as other polyomino games.
Yeah, I can understand that because this is a very quick cycle through of putting polyominoes, tearing it down, putting polyominoes, tearing it down. So
you're like, I don't want to put my best work in because it's just going to get torn down.
I do get that, but I feel like it really works with the theme because you do have that anxiety built into it, the tension built into it of, I really need to narrow down where this person's at before they find me. And, you know, in a board game way, the theme comes through with this because you have that tension. I've got to find them before they find me. And then I got to pull the trigger before they pull the trigger on me. Like it has that tension built into it, and I really enjoy that. So I think the theme absolutely comes through with this game. If you're somebody who really enjoys polyominoes, if you enjoy head-to-head battles, this game's going to have that for you. It does have the solo mode as well, and so that's something that you can do if you're somebody who likes to solo games, or you just occasionally you do like your games to have that function for you to be able to do that. Really unique experience. I don't know that there's very many real-time polyomino type games, and this has it, and it works. It just really does. Has that 15-second timer option as well if you want to play that route. If you get more skilled at this game, playing it a few times, you may find that you do want that extra challenge, and it has that ability to be able to do that. So I think it's really cool. High quality production. This is just a prototype, but I was really impressed with the quality of components that came in it. So really cool to see what will come out of the Kickstarter for it. So, but that's our quick and brief thoughts on Super Snipers. It's from Galen's Games. It's a really cool idea. I'd really highly encourage you to go check it out. Leave us some comments down below. Let us know what you think about this particular game.
Make sure to like and subscribe and push that bell button so you get notifications of all our new content.
I'm Lance.
I'm Sam.
And we are Love to Hate, where we try to bridge the gap between gamers and non-gamers. We'll catch you next time.